viewers IAS Academy. In this video, we'll look at some of the guidelines provided by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change regarding the marine species. So, keeping in mind about the importance of conserving the marine species, there has been a guidelines and how to look at this stranded animals and what are the techniques to preserve them is given by the ministry. So we'll look at these guidelines in a detailed way and have a discussion on it. What were the pitfalls of the previous decades and how we could cut down such pitfalls and give a good environment for the marine animals also. So this were the guidelines and this was in news because recently Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar released marine megafauna standing guidelines for long-term conservation of marine species and their habitats. So this is a long-term conservation for marine species, and such guidelines would really ensure that the first responders would be in the place to help the stranded animals. So this was in news because ministry gave this guidelines. So first of all, we'll see what is the definition for a stranded animal. What could be a stranded animal called as? See, stranded animal include a dolphin lying on the beach, or a seal that is out of its range, an ice-bound whale, or a pelican with the torn pouches. So, in all these four conditions, you could see that an animal of a different habitat is coming and lying on the periphery of the beach or coming out of the sea, coming out of the deep sea and being in a very devastated position. So that becomes stranded animals. Basically, in the normal terms, we could call them as homeless. As we could tell for the persons, we could call them as homeless also. So that is stranding is a very bigger issue in conservation of marine animals. To cut down that problems, the guidelines have been reduced. So that is why till now there were no database of stranded marine animals. Frequency and the hotspots have not been identified, and the insufficiency of the data has led to not providing the guidelines and making the animals very devastating and being in a very deteriorative position. That is why collection of information, generating the data of animals which are stranded becomes very important in any conservation. It could be a lower round or could be the government responsibilities. The government on its hand becomes, it could be any survey, it could be a census or any survey regarding the national health. It could be anything. Generation of data becomes then important such that the initiatives are given to the proper beneficiaries only. So that is why the importance of database and making the hotspot of such stranded animals. See, for example, there could be a collection of sea waves at a place and many animals would be attracted for such sea waves and could lose the stage and could be out of the ranges. That is why this stranding happens. And then over the years, experts have stressed on the data collection, as it was mainly stressing on the data collection becomes a prominent part of guidelines. And then the response team in the coastal areas are created and offering training for the first responders. See, whenever you try to skill some people, you would be able to provide a proper guidelines, a proper skilling to handle different animals. See, for example, you're handling a cetacean animal, there is very different grooming patterns and the techniques to treat them. So that skilling is given for the first responders in the guidelines. Then the absence of standard operating procedures made it a big pitfall. That is why there is confusion and improper handling of the stranded animals. See, the lack of operating procedures mainly led to this mishandling of the stranded animals. And then for example, see, there is a good example when a massive carcass of 37 feet large whale washed ashore at Juhu Beach in Mumbai in 2016. Way back in 2016, it was moored only after over 24 hours without a defined protocol and necessary safety equipment. See, you could make a stranded animal die also. Making a live stranding to releasing to the sea is what every marine species conservation will go on. So that is why standard operating facilities should be increased. Then, the guideline aim to prepare a database on cetacean sightings. So whenever a cetacean in the sense, it could be a whale, a dolphin, a porpoise, which could actually come out of the deep seas and could be stranded on the peripheries. And the stranding across the country. See, this is very much important. The guideline aims to prepare database all over the country. So keep it in mind, it is a pan-India initiative. It is a pan-India guidelines. So you could be all the parts, west, east, north, south, could access to this guidelines and be a responsible person in handling the stranding animals. Then it will help us to set up a national stranding center and another in the state with district local coordinators with high stranding and bycatch cases. Then the role of marine wildlife stranding network. Marine wildlife stranding network is to inform, rescue, rehab, collect biological information, and if possible, ascertain the causes of the death also. See, the causes of the death of these animals becomes a vital part, because whenever you know the animal got death because of all this reason and you have a report created by 1, 2, 3, you give the reasons in a very organized manner, we can, on the basis of this, we can create guidelines for the next species also. So that is why the cause of death of the animal should be recorded in the first part. So that is the role of marine wildlife stranding network has been done. Then it lays down the steps to be followed for live and dead stranding. As you can see, there are two types, live and dead stranding. Dead stranding is that the animal is dead and stranding is happening in the outside of the water. So you take the animal and give it a good cremation, and then live stranding is that you are able to save the animal. That is in case of live stranding, where the animals can be released into the sea, they will be satellite tagged for later identification and also track the movement after the release. So that is how live stranding could be converted into a preservation. See, this is an example, and this picture shows a shark was live stranded in the Peru, and then it got completely tranquilized. The wounds were patched up and then released into the water with a satellite tag, so that they could track the actions of the shark. And if in future the ailment is not properly cured, they would take back that shark and cure and again put it to the water. So this is how live stranding and the people working in the ocean are able to save the marine animals. So this was the need for the guidelines. See, we are looking at the pitfalls and turning down all these problems and putting it into a solution. Then what are the benefits of this? Benefits is that they will promote intersectoral coordination in the conservation of marine animals. See, we have the coordination is being built, then it will improve coordination between various independent governments, civil societies responding to marine stranding, and research and management of data sharing. So we promote, we excel, we share the knowledge between all the civil society such that they would be the first responders for any kind of stranding and help to conserve the heritage of the marine animals. And then they will rationalize utilization of the funds that have been assigned for Maharashtra to build a marine animal rescue center to deal with the stranded animals. Marine Animal Rescue Center has been provided by the Maharashtra, and the fundings are also been extended for that. So that is how you get the benefits of all of this. See, intersectoral coordination is being built. You're promoting the various civil society to act for this training. Marine resources are also conserved. So that is how a guideline, a strict regulation, a strict following could help in extending the help for the stranded animal. So the conclusion goes like, these guidelines will act as a keystone in ensuring community participation. So whatever it might be, we always have to urge for the community participation, and such guidelines would make them in a very strict manner. Stringent practice will be given for the community participation. So creation of marine animal handling staff in a more scientific way. Thus, it will promote data-oriented scientific management of marine resources of India and contribute for the blue economy. So as you can see, the blue economy should be increased, and blue economy tries back to 50% of GDP of India. It rise back to that. So you can understand the importance of blue economy, and creating such scientific ways to conserve the marine animals could also lead to the increase in the blue economy. So this becomes a very much importance for the guidelines of stranding or helping the stranding marine animals. So as we have seen many prelims question coming regarding the rules, the guidelines. See, this guidelines, marine guidelines, could also be a very potential topic for prelims 2021. So this topic, and we conclude by this, and this could be taken or categorized under GS3, environment and policies or rules for the conservation of biodiversity. So this could be categorized under that. And we come to the end of this video. For any kind of important or vital current affairs, you can log on to our website www.believersias.com, where you get all the daily updates, daily news articles, daily editorial analysis, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter for any infographics or any information with regards to prelims, mains and interview. And you can call upon our number 9611005946 for any inquiry or any course detail, and have a complete information regarding the UPSC examination. And thank you.